regardless of what you think. If somebody tells you you look good, just say thank you. Do you know how much time you save both of y'all lives by just saying thank you instead of going into explaining why you don't feel that you deserve the compliment?
Head high, chest up, and catch that frame, 'cause beauty is my name.
What up, Beauty Gang? Halfrican Beauty here, and today I'm bringing y'all a girl talk video. Long time no girl talk. I already know you don't even have to come for me, because Beauty Gang on Instagram and YouTube on multiple occasions over these last couple weeks or a month or so have been coming for me like, sis, where's the girl talks? What are you doing? It is here. I am back. As you can tell by today's title, we are talking about signs that you're insecure, or maybe it's even somebody that you know that's insecure. Like, these are the signs, sis. But before I hop into this video, if you're new to Beauty Gang and you never heard of us, sis, we don't know you've been there, but we're so glad you found us. Beauty Gang is hella stupid lit over here. If you don't believe me, go check the comment section below and you will see multiple Beauty Gang members vouching for the fact that we're hella stupid lit. So after that, go to the subscribe button and the bell button so you're notified each time I post a new video. Without further ado, let's hop into this girl talk, ladies. So, number one. People who fish for compliments and or put themselves down for like attention purposes, bruh, that like screams insecurity. I'm telling you, it is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like a girl who's like, oh, my hair looks, and she just got her hair laid on Saturday. Or, oh, my nails look, and she get her nails done every 2 weeks. Or, oh, my outfit, I don't know about it. Girl, you just got that from the mall this weekend. You are doing too much. I hate when people fish for compliments. If people want to compliment you, they're gonna give it to you. Like, you don't have to reach. It's like, I need you to validate my dopeness. Or the fact that you don't know that you're dope. That's what it tells me. You don't think that you're dope enough to just be in your essence and know like I'm fly. I look bomb today. I know I'm speaking from like EC right now. I know personally I look bomb today, regardless of the compliments that I'm sure my Beauty Gang will give me. Thank you, by the way. But I didn't need anybody to tell me that. And I'm not gonna fish like, do y'all see like, that's cringy as hell. I hate when people do that. That's number one. Fishing for compliments or putting yourself down so that somebody will speak up and say something and make you feel better and give you words of affirmation. Like, that's not it, sis. It's not. Another sign that you are insecure, sis, and I think a lot of us ladies, if you're being real with yourself, can relate. Seeing other girls is competition. It is so frustrating, and I see it so much, especially in this social media world, to the point where it's like, no, only I can be at the top. Like, people are like that. Like, they don't want to see other people win. It's like a competition to them. It's so disappointing, especially for the Black community, in my personal opinion, because I'm like, we don't really realize how much money and how many opportunities are really out there for all of us to be able to win. Some people are so like tunnel vision on, no, I can only be the one at the top. It can only be me. I don't want to put anybody else on, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's toxic as hell. It's really detrimental to self-image, because you can tie both of these insecurities into one. So one, girls who view other girls as competition, but also through that viewing of competition, you also are comparing yourself. That is destroying your self-image, because nobody looks the same. Unless you're literally identical twins and you came out the womb with that person, nobody look, and even then, they're still typically different. The personalities still differ slightly. Everybody is uniquely different for a reason. So comparing your journey to somebody else's journey, comparing your hair to somebody else's hair, comparing your closet to somebody else's closet, comparing your life to somebody else's life, that gets you absolutely nowhere. Another thing that screams insecurity, oh my gosh, the person who always wants to be the center of attention. I know all of us at some point have come across somebody who's just stupid loud. Like, they could be at a lunchroom table across the room from you and you can still hear them. Like, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be the center of attention, because it's like, everybody see me, hello, I'm here. When on the contrary, there's people who can literally go into a room, not say anything, and just their aura and their energy screams confidence and draws people's eyes and attention. You don't always have to be loud in order to be seen. You don't always have to be loud in order to be seen. But I don't think a lot of people understand that. What's a good example though? Let's say you're with your girlfriends, y'all are about to walk past a group of guys, or y'all see a group of guys walking past y'all, and one of your friends is like, ah, laughing louder than usual, talking louder than usual, just doing the most. You can tell when people just be out their body. They don't feel like just them being themselves is enough. Another thing that screams insecurity is easily falling into peer pressure. If you're somebody who's always like a yes man, or you have like kind of no sense of self, you you don't have your own opinion about things, that is an insecurity that should be worked on. I personally can pride myself in the fact that I have never given in to peer pressure. If I didn't want to drink, I didn't do it. If I didn't want to smoke, I didn't do it. If I didn't, you know what? Let me not say never. You should never say never, because I will say the only thing that I felt peer pressured into was losing my virginity, which I touched on in a girl talk some years ago. You can check that out if you want more details on that. And that is my biggest regret in life, because I've always, for the most part, been a person who's thought for myself, stood my ground on things, yada, yada, yada. Never been a yes man, and I've never really swayed my opinion in order to be accepted by the majority, if that makes sense. If I have an opinion about something, I'm gonna stand true in it. I'm not gonna change my opinion up just for people to like me. That's something I would say I'm relatively confident in, but I have seen and noticed a lot of people are insecure in the sense of like, oh, let my opinion just flow with the majority of the crowd so that I don't stick out like a sore thumb type stuff, or so people don't look at me sideways, blah, blah, blah. You just kind of want to blend in. If you're somebody who gets easily peer pressured into doing things that you internally, you know yourself better than anybody, you don't want to do, that's a sign of insecurity. I feel like this insecurity ties into another insecurity I have written down, which is if you allow mean people in your life. Peer pressure doesn't always mean that people are mean, but it just means that you kind of allow people to walk over you. To me, if you're allowing mean, just mean people in your life, bruh, there's some mean ass motherfuckers out here. If you're allowing those type of people in your life on a consistent basis, that is a sign of insecurity. You basically don't really have the balls to be like, I'm not allowing any of that energy in my life. You don't have access to me. If you're not able to confidently tell bad vibes, bad energy, mean people that they don't have access to you, that's a sign of insecurity. If you're always hanging out with people that end up making you feel down about yourself, or you're kicking it with people and you're constantly like the butt of the joke, I tell people this all the time. You set the tone with how people are allowed to treat you. I will say that again for somebody else. I know, I feel it in my spirit. Somebody needs to hear that again. You set the tone for how you allow people to treat you. So therefore, if it's one slip up, so I use an example, okay? A lot of beauty gang knows at this point, but if you don't know, I'm gonna make it very clear. I'm somebody who does not F with the B word. Not as a friend, not as an associate, not as enemies. You don't get to call me that. It's gonna be a problem if you do. If I had somebody in my life that not even continue, one time, because I make it very clear, if somebody doesn't really know me and they slip up one time and say it, and I'm like, hey, don't call me that, like I don't vibe with that word or whatever, they understand that's how I feel, and then they proceed to do it again, then you're cut off, because you're blatantly disrespecting what I said is allowed in my life. You set the tone with how people get to treat you. If you let something happen and it makes you feel some type of way and you don't speak up about it that first time, and then it happens again and it happens again, it's gonna be an ongoing cycle. When something happens that does not make you feel good that first time around, you need to dead it immediately, so that people don't be like, oh, well, you never said anything back then and now you tripping now, blah, blah, blah. Set the tone. Another sign that you are insecure, if you see another girl popping and it makes you feel, that's a sign of insecurity, sis. I can speak from a personal experience. I will never forget my first ever YouTube Black, which I think was last year. I felt so insecure that whole entire trip in terms of my hair, my outfit. Like, these were people who were kind of like veterans in the game. They knew what it was like to walk on a red carpet and stuff like that. For me, I was kind of just like amateur, and I didn't almost feel like I deserved to be there, which is crazy because according to like numbers, followers, etc., I absolutely deserved to be there. It was a mental thing that I had to work myself through of like, girl, you deserve to be here just like anybody and everybody else. Just because somebody else might look a little bit more flyer than you or a little bit more put together doesn't make you any less than. But that is also something that made me realize like, okay, well, if you feel this way, then it's time for you to step it up. It's time for you to start taking your fashion a little bit more seriously, making sure that your hair is laid, make sure your nails are done so you don't feel that way again. I think I just brought up actually a good point, because I'm like, I was insecure about that at the time, but I made a conscious effort to figure out how to no longer be insecure about it. I didn't just sit in that insecurity and be like, well, that's my life, that's what it is. Like, nah, because next YouTube Black, sis is coming strong, okay? Oh my gosh. I know almost everybody watching this video has experienced this type of person. I hope you are not this type of person. If you are, please change it today. Narcissistic people are probably the #1 sign that screams insecurity. If you don't know what narcissistic people are or what that looks like, people who are always bragging about themselves, people who make every single situation that comes to their ear about them. Like, you can say, oh yeah, I went to the grocery store store and I found this really pretty red apple. Then that person's like, oh yeah, but I found this red apple and it had hues of orange in it. Like they always make every single thing about themselves. They will correlate their life to something that has nothing to do with them. Oh, it's just so frustrating because I've experienced so many people like this. I feel like too, narcissistic people I've noticed are also people who tend to cut off others a lot. You could be telling somebody a story and they're like, oh yeah, and this happened. This is how crazy it is because they don't even realize how narcissistic they're being. They might ask you a question, you might not be answering it either fast enough to their liking, or like their attention span just might be super short and they really don't even care about the answer to what they just asked you. They kind of just want to initiate the question so that they can chime in. Bruh, those type of people blow the hell out of me because I'm like, can I at least get out what you asked me? Like, can I say what I wanted to say? For you to always center it around yourself. That's a talent. It really is. It's a talent. And I've had to cut off people. I've had to ghost people because they were so narcissistic. I literally had a friend who every time we spoke, it was never easy. Never. I mean, never easy. How are you doing? What's going on in your life? Blah, blah, blah. It's always, this is happening to me. This is what happened. Guess what he did? Blah, blah, blah. I had to cut it off. It was toxic for me. I didn't need that in my life. And I wasn't even gaining anything from the friendship. I'm a strong believer the older I get, there's no need for pointless friendships and interactions in your life. If somebody's not benefiting you in some way, whether it be helping your mental health, your growth as a person, as a woman, somebody who's just there for you, if you need help with something, if you're not benefiting or gaining anything from a friendship, there is no point of it. That's my point of view. That's just how I feel. Another sign of insecurity is that you feel like you're better than other people. This is where the line goes between cocky and confidence. So let me give you guys an example. A confident statement is like, dang, I look good today. Like, oh yes, EC. Cocky statement, I look better than her, and her. There is a clear difference between cocky and confident. But what blows me is not only do people experience blurred lines and gray areas with that, when you do decide to be confident of, oh, I look good, people want to call you cocky. That is not cocky. Cocky is saying that you're better than, or look better than, dress better than, have better things than others. That's cocky, and that ties into comparison. Wow, I feel like I'm having an epiphany right now because it's almost like all these signs tie into each other one way or another. Am I the only one that's catching that? If you think that you're better than somebody else, that's a sign of insecurity. Even the fact that you have to tell yourself like, oh, I'm better than them. Probably somebody that feels that way about you too. And they don't have the right to. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't have the right to say that you're better than anybody else. What makes you better? Better? Thinking that you're better than somebody else means that you're kind of swerving in other people's lanes to see what they doing. You know, that's how you get in car accidents. If you stayed in your own lane, in that confident lane, and just kept your eyes straight on your path, you're only worried about yourself. They worried about the outside factors going on around you. Cocky people be all like, they be swerving, bro. This is how cocky people be. That's what their minds be looking like. You don't want that. You don't need that in your life, sis. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Hear me now, hear me clear. If you are a social media troll, you're an insecure motherfucker. You are the epitome of insecure. It is so wrong to troll somebody. To this day, I have never thumbs down somebody, commented something mean or rude, even if I had a differing opinion. I just don't do that. That's just not in me. I just can't do that to somebody. But it amazes me how many people feel not only do they have the right to comment mean things, they have the right to put their own input on somebody else's life. I mean, I don't really care about the thumbs down thing as much, but it's more so just being a troll, just being a bully. That shit is ridiculous to me. And that is the epitome of insecure. The fact that you have that much time, and like I be talking to my best friends about this all the time, of like, not only do they type it, not only do trolls type out the mean shit, they press send, like they press comment. They want that person to see it. I'm just like, you gotta be in a really low and dark place to troll somebody and just be mean to somebody online that you don't even know. Another sign that you're insecure that I feel like isn't really talked about a lot. If you're someone or know someone who always feels the need to always explain and justify yourself. I can't remember where I heard it or saw it from, but somebody in particular explained that as like an explanation whore. That is a clear sign of insecurity, that you always feel like, oh, I gotta clap back. It's kind of like modern day example of clapping back, which I really try to restrain myself from doing, bro. I won't lie. Sometimes some people might get me kind of out of my character or make me want to almost explain myself, and I had to catch myself most days. I'm like, I don't need to explain shit to these people. Like, they don't know me from a bag of chips, and I don't know them from a cup of juice. Ooh, ooh. Full circle. So I had talked about a couple of times, I think on Instagram Live, that back in college when I was in my major of hospitality and tourism and minoring in leadership, I took a women's in leadership class. And I will never forget, the professor played a video one day on glass ceilings and basically showed the example of a male boss and a female boss experiencing the same exact days. The example that stuck with me the most was that both of them, like, they were the bosses of their corporation, their company, and they both showed up late. When the man showed up late, he said, "Thank you for waiting," and hopped into the meeting. When the woman showed up, she apologized, she explained, like, my kids, blah, 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 like went into explaining and then eventually got into the meeting. That is the difference between men and women though. We always feel the need to over-explain ourselves or justify shit, whereas it's not necessary. And partially shows and screams insecurity with the fact that you feel like you have to thoroughly explain yourself or your situation in order for somebody to understand you. And I guess my point is, not everybody needs or requires understanding of your situation. There are certain times where, yeah, it is understandable and necessary to explain yourself, but not all the time. Last one that I feel is really important to say in this one. If you are someone who is awful with receiving compliments, I mean, you rebuke it each and every time, sis, that screams insecure. Example, somebody tells you you look beautiful. You're like, oh, I don't know. And this is the difference though between what I said the first insecurity was of fishing for compliments, you know, putting yourself down. Most of the time what I've noticed, people who downplay compliments and stuff like that, it's not even that they're fishing, it's really because they just don't feel like they're the shit. They don't think they look bomb, they don't think they look good. But if somebody, regardless of what you think, if somebody tells you you look good, just say thank you. Do you know how much time you saved both of y'all lives by just saying thank you instead of going into explaining why you don't feel that you deserve the compliment? If you're somebody that struggles with this, I challenge you to just hush. Next time you get a compliment, just hush. Don't make an excuse. Don't say, I don't know about that. Just say, thank you, I appreciate that, and keep it pushing. Accept the compliment, because obviously somebody is seeing something in you that you don't even see in yourself. Allow that to absorb within you so that you can grow your confidence, sis. Let it grow. But all right, beauty gang, that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want a part 2, I got a whole backside of more insecurities that I can speak on. If y'all want a part 2, don't hesitate to hashtag part 2 in the comment section below. Also, if you've related to any of these and currently going through these insecurities, if you've overcome any of these insecurities, if you know anybody that experiences these insecurities, please don't hesitate to comment below and share your experience. But yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are new, because Beauty Gang is clearly lit and we all about to be confident, okay? All of us. And until next time, guys. Bye.
Move your body cause you're loving the way that you walk. Move your body if you're loving the way that you talk. One time if you're confident. Clap 2 times cause you're on it. Never gave a damn about what they say, cause you handle all your business on a day by day. Head high, chest up, and catch that frame, cause beauty